Aloha everyone, my name is Jennifer Espenscheid and this is The Art of Life. Today we're going to talk about a terrifying subject, and that is cold therapy, otherwise known as cold immersion or cold plunging or cold water immersion. It has to do with the cold and getting all the way in it. It offers a variety of amazing health benefits, both physical and mental. And so we're going to go over some of the science, and then I am happy to share what it's done for my life. I was introduced to cold therapy years and years and years ago. As a kid, you get in the cold, you feel, oh my God, it's so exciting. It's like invigorating and everything. And then over the years, you just get more comfortable and you don't want to do it as much. And I remember being in a time where I was in a considerable amount of pain and searching for and exhausting all my efforts on different things I could do naturally. And we all run across the wonderful Wim Hof, then starting your own studies about cold therapy. And it turns out it's really freaking good for us. Women don't need to go as cold and as long as men. In fact, we have to look at new studies around cold therapy that in the past were only done on men and now are also being done on women. I still find a tremendous benefit in this. So we'll go through some of the science. I'll share some of the things that have worked for me. And then one thing we all have is a shower. So while maybe you're not doing total cold immersion, I'll walk you through all the things I do in my cold shower, and that 3 minutes goes pretty fast. So we'll actually take a shower together. And I'll share all my tricks and tips for how to calmly and beautifully go through cold immersion and the showers. So let's get into this. So there's lots of science here to back us up. There are physical benefits from the cold. So we have reduced inflammation and muscle recovery. Acts kind of the same but different than heat therapy, where the cold immersion actually constricts the blood vessels, where the heat therapy increases the blood and pushes it out. And it in this way does help inflammation and alleviates soreness and speeds recovery after intense workouts. I like it before a workout. It invigorates everything, and then I want my muscles to have a little bit of inflammation after because they're rebuilding. So I do like to do my heat and cold ahead of time. That's my personal preference. The second thing it does is improve circulation. So alternating between cold and warm, and usually we are warm, we're warm-blooded, so we're usually about 98 degrees. And then getting ourselves nice and cold, going back and forth a bit is really great, can improve blood flow by stimulating vascular constriction and dilation, so the back and forth. I have to say here, personal experience and anecdote, and I recommend this to everyone who has Raynaud's and cold fingertips and painful toes and fingers and tingling. This has nearly eliminated that pain. I used to have purple, even like bloody toes at the ends, and my feet would be in pain and my hands were always cold. And in these 3 years, that whole situation has basically healed. So I wouldn't say my hands in the winter are warm, but I can walk around a moderate home in my bare feet. I've gotten much tougher. So it does really constrict and then push all the blood into those small capillaries, and I think helps a lot. Pain relief. The numbing effect of cold water can help manage acute and chronic pain. This is another one definitely has helped. My chronic pain is dissipated vastly, and so I recommend this for anyone who has chronic conditions. It enhances your immune function. So regular cold exposure may increase white blood cell count and strengthen the immune system. I'd have to say I rarely get sick anymore. It's pretty infrequent, and then being in the sauna and getting in the cold really seems to speed that along. Some say it increases your metabolism and fat burning. I'm not so sure about that. I've read mixed reviews. I think that maybe you shiver a bit after, and so your body's learning how to heat itself well. It definitely gets you through stagnation and might motivate you. So in those ways, for sure it helps. Then we have the mental and cognitive benefits. Stress resilience. So cold exposure activates the sympathetic nervous system and can improve your ability to handle stress over time. So like heat therapy and many other hormetic stresses, which are different than chronic stresses. So chronic stress is a lingering pain or an anxiety that is lasting a long time. Not dealing with those issues is very different than a hormetic stress, which we are purposefully putting ourselves into in order to make ourselves more resilient and stronger. So I love to think of the cold, and trust me, I panicked anytime I thought of getting in cold water. So if I can do it, you can do it. And over time, it has right-sized all of the stresses. Part of it, I think, and we'll get into that when I'm demonstrating how I do cold immersion, but part of it is definitely being calm, right-sizing things. And then when you're in this hormetic stress and your body wants to panic and run, fight or flight, right? You're gonna fly out of the freezer. Instead, dropping into, with different techniques, into your parasympathetic and reassuring yourself that you're going to be okay. And overall, across the board, that's improved in life. So it's a really good training for any other stress, unwanted stress. It's also a great mood booster. Cold immersion triggers the release of neoepinephrine and beta endorphins, which can enhance mood and reduce the feelings of depression and anxiety. Definitely, I am tougher and more resilient than I was before. Humans overall, I believe, and this is one of Wim Hof's, what he preaches, is that overall, we're getting way too comfortable. And I know when I was in a lot of pain and feeling demoralized and depressed because of it, because it was so long term, I got more and more comfortable. I wanted everything to be just so. I didn't want any mental stresses. I didn't want any physical duress on top of that. And I got weaker and weaker overall. Everything was a big deal for me physically. Clothes hurt at surgery sites, and everything I ate seemed to upset me. And then mentally you get really, really down. And so getting tougher by increasing your cold exposure definitely works wonders. I'm not sure how scientifically you can prove this. You'll just have to do it, and believe me now and believe me more later. I think as we toughen up, we can gain momentum. So start easy. Start with turning your shower cold at the end. And then conversely, if it's okay with your doctors and you're not worried about it, just go all in. And that's what I did. I went pretty much full in because I really wanted those benefits quickly. And then it will increase your mental clarity and alertness. The shock of cold water stimulates the nervous system, often resulting in improved focus and alertness. It is a state changer. I know that in the morning I do it after my heat therapy, and it's just wonderful. That extreme contrast is great. I'll also try and get in the lake in the winter if it's not too brutal out, and I have only taken cold showers now for 3 years, and I always get out refreshed. I'm never cold afterwards. Your body learns to heat up right away, and my awareness, I feel much more open. I feel fresh and just totally alert. So it's definitely wonderful for mental clarity. Let's go over quickly hormetic stress, because I want to make sure that we understand that we are stressing our body, but this is different than chronic stress. So when we have a hormetic stress, we are actually increasing our resilience, and we're doing it like a training. So imagine that when we are getting into the sauna, or we're going for a sprint workout, or we're getting into the cold or the cold of a shower, we're doing this on purpose and we're doing it for the benefits, and that's going to increase our resilience overall. Then we also have the hormonal and nervous system benefits that are, and this is where we get into something called cold shock proteins. And these are special proteins that cells produce in response to the exposure and sudden drops in temperature. These proteins play a critical role in helping cells adapt to cold stress by stabilizing cellular functions. And they're actually preserving the structure of our RNA and DNA and ensuring efficient protein synthesis. So cold shock proteins work by slowing cellular processes and disrupting the normal gene expression and affect protein folding. They increase and protect the RNA stability, preventing the degradation of RNA molecules so that the essential proteins can still be synthesized, and they improve protein folding, which is assisting in the proper folding of newly synthesized proteins, which is critical under stress conditions. So these things are being released in our body, they're cleaning things up, they're balancing hormones, and they're right-sizing all our stress levels, which is pretty amazing. The other nice thing is it's short, right? So we're not going to be in an incredible amount of cold typically for very long. We're looking for 3 minutes. The science is showing, and it can be less and a bit warmer for women, but about 3 minutes, 3 times a week. We're trying to get to that 9 or 11 minutes. And that's pretty easy if you have the nerve and the courage to go cold in your showers. Then you can start adding other things, right? Like maybe if you have a bath, you can start putting ice in the bath a couple times a week. And I got a freezer. No one was using it. I had it in the basement for quite a while. And so I decided to turn it into my personal cold plunge. So it's beside my sauna. I'll get it in as often as I can. And it's full of water. I'll plug it in once a week. It's a really easy way. And now there's all kinds of options available online for getting at home cold plunges or cold immersion tanks. I highly recommend this. There's nothing more invigorating. And so I'll go from that right into my shower and do my 3-minute protocol, which I'll share with you in a minute. Cold therapy may also enhance sleep quality. So they're thinking cold exposures helps regulate our circadian rhythms. When we have these extremes, we're going to have better rhythms. It probably has a lot to do with the way we evolved. And I know typically in the winter, I do it in the morning. I can go much closer to bedtime in the summer and just drop right into sleep. So it's a combination of a lot of things, but it does help with my sleep. And then once again, the hormonal regulations. Cold immersion helps with cortisol, evening it out and supporting all our hormonal functions. So I can say definitely through personal experience, those vast differences in temperature help us pre-regulate all those hot flashes and also keep stimulating our hormones. And then those cold shock proteins are doing some sort of magic in there. And I can really attest to the benefits of that. How long and how often should we do cold? So the things I've been listening to lately are saying at least 3 times a week and about 3 minutes per session. So that really could be handled in 3 to 5 cold showers. And if you can do more, great. And if you can do it a couple different ways, great. Even small amounts are going to be good for you. Okay, time to get in the cold. I'm excited. So there are methods that I utilize, and they're not really tricks, but maybe tips and practices. And I've used similar ones in childbirth and other things that were a bit shocking and painful, yet you were getting a benefit or something wonderful out of them, right? So train up slowly if you want. If you're that kind of person that wants to go all in right away, make sure that, every part of you can handle it. If you want to check with your doctor, great. I'm leaving all that up to you. These are just some of the things that work for me. However you're getting into the cold is important. Your mindset needs to be in the right place. If you're freaking out already, you are going to probably be upset and you're going to fly in and fly out and your body is going to be in panic and it's going to be worthless. So be in the right mindset. Your physical ease here and your mental ease really does make a difference. When you're getting into the water or into the shower, get in slowly and work with your breath. So your pre-work, being calm is the first thing, moving calmly. Your second thing is going to be your breath. So when we're stimulating our vagus nerve, we are kicking in our parasympathetic. So our fight or flight is going to happen when we first start getting into the cold water. And we want to remind ourselves that everything's fine. So you can say that out loud. You can say it to yourself. Hey, I'm great. I'm doing this for all the right reasons. This is wonderful. And one of the tricks that I love to do, and it makes such a huge difference in all these kinds of situations, is to hum or chant. And I really, a lot of times just hum because I want to get into a more meditative state and just watch my breath. It's a And that sighing is one of the best ways to calm ourselves. That has been proven scientifically. So the breath, really work with that and engaging your vagus nerve. Then go back to your mindset, and you can use your analytical mind as well. Remind yourself of why you're doing this. Remind yourself that your ancestors did this, that good is coming from this, that you're resilient, that you are safe and you're getting stronger, and that you can do it. So bring that in when you're feeling pins and needles or you're really getting uncomfortable, and just keep sighing or chanting deep breaths, letting yourself know why you're doing what you're doing. Then physically, a lot of times I'll do something ahead of time to heat up a bit, or some breath work to move my body. So I'm moving with confidence, I'm getting warm. If I'm on the beach and it's cold out, I'll stay pretty bundled up, and then I'll do some breath work. I'll really get into a rhythm. Then I'll take off my clothes really quickly, get in, stay for a bit, usually not very long, and then calmly get out. And I'm just letting myself know I'm fine, and I'm humming, and all of that is relieving tension. So physically remembering to drop your shoulders, physically remembering to loosen up, and to move slowly and purposefully. If you are outside and you are alone, which I am a lot, it's important to make sure that you're set up for success. So a lot of times I'll put a towel right down by the water if there's ice. I'll have my shoes ready so I can step right back into them. I'll have my towel there, my coat ready to put back on, and I'm confident in my system. I know that I'm not in danger of anything happening. Know your surroundings, know yourself, and then set yourself up for success. Next, let's get into, I'm excited about this because this is something we all can do. We pretty much all have showers, or maybe a cold waterfall, or some other thing that we can get cold in. But I love efficiency, and I love making things even more effective and enjoyable. So I know that if I'm busy and I'm stacking the things that I know are good for me, I'm not going to notice if I'm as cold. Let's look at this video, and I'll walk you through what I'm doing. In the time that this video takes, about 10 different things get done. Okay, I just turn on the water. At first it might be a little bit warmer because it's been in your pipes, and then right away I'll start getting any sweat and anything off my scalp. And I don't wash my hair every day, but it's already wet, and I'm going to make sure I get all that sweat out. So then I might go ahead and wash it. I might also just condition it, and then I'm going to keep turning. I'm going to keep exposing all sides of my body to that cold. Then next, I'm going to, if you use soap, maybe put a little bit of soap all around. Usually I do because I've just worked out, or more often the sauna, or just got to the swimming. And so you soap up, and then another really important step is the washcloth. So if you use a washcloth, you are actually exfoliating, and you're making sure that all these toxins from the day or from your exercise or sauna are getting off. And so you're stimulating your skin, you're exfoliating. And another level that I do is I will wash my front and my left side with my right hand, and then my back and my right side with my left hand. And part of this is to be dexterous and change it up. Part of it is just an honoring of the masculine and feminine sides and how I'm being of service to myself. And then I am also sighing a lot. I might be humming or singing, and this kind of just puts me in a good mood. It makes things a lot easier. I'm now starting to get pretty cold, doing an extra rinse in my hair, making sure I'm turning around, and then I'll do a bit of lymph drainage. So I'll actually, from using gravity, I'll move everything towards my heart, and then I love doing it on my face and neck, turning, really getting cold, keeping all these things up. And then that's almost 3 minutes. So the shower's off, and now I can dry off, and I'm actually much warmer than I was before. I notice that when I take hot showers and I get out, I'm like chilly because the air is chillier. Now when I'm done, my body's refreshed, I'm clean, I'm loofah'd, I'm balanced, I've stimulated my vagus system. My skin is pink and glowing. And the minute I dry off, I'm actually pretty warm. So that is my stacking cold shower. I layer in lymph massage, exfoliation, that honoring of the masculine and feminine, cleaning myself, detoxifying, all these things. And it really has transformed things that were at once just really normal. You're gonna be sleepier after a hot shower, and you're gonna be, sometimes it's wonderful, don't get me wrong. If I'm in from the cold ocean or some situation of prolonged cold and I need to take a shower, then sure, a warm shower is nice. But anymore, I promise you, I used to cringe at even a little bit of cold. And now I feel uncomfortable. I feel stifled after a hot shower, or if it's even warm. And there's such an invigorating process that happens when you take a cold shower. So try that. It's one of the best rituals. It's benefiting you in so many ways. Your immune system is being bolstered, your mental toughness, you're right-sizing all other stress in your life. You can have visualizations and different distractions with the things that you're doing, your lymph massage, your exfoliating with a washcloth. And as my science experiment of one, I can say, if you do nothing else, this is going to take the same or less time than any other protocol because you're probably already showering. I would highly recommend this be the one. You're also going to consider this. If you used to take these long hot showers trying to warm up, you're going to save water, which is a good thing for us all to do. And any toxins that are on the outside of you, I shower after I shower when I'm dirty, right? I shower after exercise or sauna or other times when I sweat. So if you get in the cold right away, your pores close up, the toxins are locked on the outside, and now none of the toxins or chemicals in the water are coming in, and you're using your washcloth, you're actually rinsing everything away, and your skin is acting like the barrier. It's cold. It doesn't want the water in. So it's wonderful. You're just taking advantage of the way your physiology works in the cold. It's fantastic. So I dug a little deeper and found out more benefits of cold therapy. Get this, neuroprotection. And what that means is the increased levels of RBM3, which is a cold shock protein in humans, that have been shown to help preserve cognitive function and prevent synaptic losses in animal studies, potentially offering protective benefits against Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Wow. Longevity. Some researchers theorize that cold shock protein activation through cold exposure might have anti-aging effects by enhancing our cellular repair mechanisms. I mean, you guys, do you understand what that means? You're going to feel better immediately, and you're going to be healthier longer. Your cells are going to replicate more cleanly, and they're going to be happier and more full of energy. And then hormesis. So cold shock introduces hormetic stress response, and we've talked about this before, but where mild stress enhances the resiliency of adaptive capacity. So just imagine, these few minutes of cold are actually going to benefit you in so many ways, immediately, this week, and way down the line. It seems like such a good investment, and it's also going to make us stronger. I can attest to that. All areas of stress and what I used to consider pain or discomfort are now much more right-sized. So I really invite you, let me know if there's anything else I can clear up, or if you need any more information, I'd be happy to get it to you.